I'd like to touch just a little bit on reports with ProWorks. You've done all the work, you've created templates, you've run jobs, and you want to start looking at some of the results of the jobs. There's a couple different things that you can do. First thing, you can actually take an existing job, and we'll just go ahead and just grab one here at random. Whoops, looks like we slipped our completion date there. Not a problem. We have a punch list, which is kind of your first report that you can do, and it's actually going to show you every step that you've done, who did it, if there were problems, goes on to the job. It's not really doesn't condense any information down for you. It just tells you everything that has happened. When you're actually viewing it, you can turn on or off the different columns, so you can customize the report to yourself. All right, and you can filter it. You can filter out stuff so you can only see things done by a certain user mode, or you maybe only want to look at when there's a symptom. So it's going to show you, just either all of them or certain categories of symptoms or blanks or non-blanks. Because you just want to look at where were the problems, not where where there was no problem. You want an exception to report. Or if you're trying to investigate, you might want to look at only the symptoms that had, this one particular symptom, and it's going to show you, hey, it just happened on these two places, and you don't have to scroll through everything. So that's your basic punch list, which is built into each job as you're running it, and that's great. Another report that you have is a job summary, which is basically giving you information on each job where it is. We go color coding: green if it's complete, red if it's behind the time, blue if it's on time. That kind of gives you a real quick snapshot. It doesn't really give you hard data. And to the report button, you get a little more interesting information. And there's two different categories of information that you can see. One is crystal reports, and one are the standard reports, or what we call the legacy reports. I'm going to hit those first. Standard reports, we have 5 right now. We're adding several more as we speak. And what it is basically going to generate a report into Excel. And so if I take a report, I may want to look at a job. And so I'll go ahead and take this job, and we'll just, let's see if we can find one here that has some real data in it. May take a second. We'll just go ahead and grab this one here. And we'll say, yep, let's just go ahead and avoid that spam. It'll create a report for us and give us the option to open up in Excel. And then of course, we have the job listing in Excel. And once it's in Excel, we can go ahead and do anything that we need with it. A lot of times I like to expand my columns. Sorry, I should have marked it this way. And format my column width a little wider than Excel likes it, just so it's easy to read everything. So you've got all this information here. And again, we can turn these various columns on or off. What's particularly important to me is a lot of times looking at like where my repair time and my lapse time is, this type of stuff, my failure codes. So you have all this information available in Excel for you. All right, I'm not going to save that here. I'm going to go in a little slower this time, just to show you standard. I can view my columns here so I can see what I'm looking at, turning the different things on or off, and I just select a job. All right. Pretty straightforward. We'll go ahead and finish that. Let's not override it and jump out into a couple other things. We can look at this like the user inputs and notes, which is your feedback. Okay, because anytime that a user's made a note, we can go ahead and see that. We can do a 5-level report, which is giving you a little more information on your tree. And so you've got these different formats to go ahead and take a look at. Fixed format is just a fixed column format. Sometimes people, if they don't have Excel, you'll want to run into fixed format if you're trying to look at it like a notepad or something. The second category of reports that's kind of interesting is what we call crystal reports. Now there is one catch here. This version of crystal reports will not work on Windows 7. It works on Windows XP and before. So I'm going to switch to a different computer to show you that. All right. So if I go on now running Windows XP on this window here instead of Windows 7, if I look at reports, I click on Crystal Reports, okay, we have 3 basic reports that you can start off with, and we'll take failed step as the initial one. We can go ahead and set a date range on it, and if we want to run that report as is, we can just go ahead and say next, and it will run Crystal Reports, and it'll give us a formatted report. Okay, it has all the different failed step information, the corrective actions, this type of stuff. Displayed for me, it does a reasonable job of formatting it for you. This format you might not exactly want it this format, so let's go ahead and close this out for a second, go back into reports. When we start Crystal Reports, we have these 3 basic reports, but we can also create new reports. Now, I've created a bunch of new reports already. A lot of times I'll run this to make customized reports. All right, so if you create a new report format, it'll save it. You can use it again and again. If we wanted to create a new report format, we just say new. We're going to start off maybe using the failed step report as the initial basis for it. All right, it's going to give us a description name, so we don't have, we can uniquely identify it, so we'll call failed report from today. All right. Next, once we do that, we can go into Properties, and now we can go ahead and take all these different columns, and we can say, oh, gee, I'd like to know the username in that report, and maybe I want to know the time of the occurrence. So we can just go ahead and add or subtract the different things that we want in these reports. All right. Of course, we've got date ranges, so we can select our date ranges, and then when we run that report, it'll have only the information that we told that we wanted in that report. All right? Again, it's all formatted for you so you can look at just the exceptions. And that's all there is to reports. One note, this version of Crystal Reports is included free with ProWorks. It only works with these basic reports. And if you have some report formats that are very complex, what you can do is you can actually purchase Crystal Reports and you can run it on the database and do much more sophisticated reports than we have here that are customized exactly to what you need. This version here, which is included, it has just the basic report types that you can modify. But again, it is running under Windows XP. And that's all there is to it. Thank you very much.